Hello and welcome. You are watching the Newshour Agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. Just a few minutes ago, the Kashmir police has put out a series of videos that completely call out the lie that had been tried to be peddled earlier this week after the passing of Hurriyat hawk Syed Ali Shah Geelani. There were a number of allegations made by political parties in Jammu and Kashmir saying that he had been snatched from his family and had been given a forced burial without any religious rituals being observed. Now, video proof has been released by the Kashmir police. 5 separate videos that show how the last rites were carried out, the ablutions were done, there was a proper janaza, there were funeral prayers, there were burial prayers in fact that were carried out, and all of this was done in the most dignified way possible. All of the rituals were duly observed. Let's go across in fact to Times Now's Ishan Vani, who is joining us live. First tell us, Ishan, from these videos, what do you make? Was every ritual duly observed?
Well, the police has gone out and tweeted 3 different processes of that particular funeral. We've seen that there is a funeral taking place, then there's a video from the graveyard, and then the 3rd video of ablution. Now, why did the police need to tweet all this? Because there were speculations and rumors and then claims made that Syed Ali Shah Geelani was not given a proper Muslim burial and there were not certain things which were followed. So the police has gone on record and tweeted out these videos which show clearly that a proper burial was followed. Police has been maintaining that there were neighbors and some relatives who were present during all the process that took place in the neighborhood. The family had claimed that they were not allowed to be part of the funeral. They had said that it was against their wishes that the timing of his burial was done, but the police kept saying that they had actually facilitated the entire process and were actually the ones who wanted to stop the violence in Kashmir and to help and prevent all these rumor mongering. They have now finally tweeted these videos. Now, what we make out of from these videos is that police clearly wants to point out at a fact that everything was done and everything was followed, and arresting all these claims and speculation that proper ablution was not given, which is important when somebody is buried in Islam, that he has to be ablutionized before his final journey to the graveyard, and that seems to be followed because now there are videos, there are people we can see in these visuals where people are sitting and offering funeral of Syed Ali Shah Geelani.
Yes.
Now, this all will definitely help police because they have been trying to maintain tight vigil around. They want to stop any speculations, rumors in Kashmir Valley, and that's why we are seeing that these important tweets being now put out by Jammu and Kashmir police.
So basically it is fair to say that every single ritual that should have been provided to give a dignified burial was observed, Ishan?
Well, yes, from the tweets one can make out that entire process was followed, which starts from taking him from the house and then starting with the ablution, then taking and having a funeral, and later on the 3rd stage is to the graveyard where he was buried. Now there is essentially just one claim which police has countered through an earlier tweet, that it was against the wishes of their family that he was taken and he wanted to be buried at some other place, which police did not allow. The family is claiming that. But police says that they were actually facilitating and helping them and trying to maintain the situation. Hence, these moves were carried out. The rest of the things are now in public domain. Kashmir police has put out these tweets and which clearly show that the 3 stages were followed by the police properly while he was being buried. But there is a family claim and there's a counter claim by the police, which was earlier done some days back.
Well, pictures speak 1,000 words. Ishan, thanks very much for having joined us and given us the details of what exactly these pictures show us. Majid Hydari is joining us live from Srinagar, political analyst, as well as Vakar H. Bhatti, Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP. Majid Hydari, no effort was spared. The pictures bear witness. Are you satisfied now?
Padmaja Saiba, by looking at these video clips, I say that police has behaved penny wise and pound foolish. I mean, COVID restrictions were there, one could accept and expect that police should have allowed only the family to do the rituals, because in the absence of family doing these rituals, it is like disallowing the right to decent burial. Because for Islam and for Muslims for that matter, any janaza can be offered only when the family allows to do so. When the legal heirs, his 2 sons, had not allowed police to do that, there will always be a debate over this as to whether that janaza was appropriate or not, and it is something for the scholars to decide. But why was this controversy created? Why couldn't police ensure and facilitate the family's movement up to the graveyard? Is our
That
police
is because,
or
sir,
government
there
so
were
insecure
efforts to
because of
try
Syed Ali
and drape
Shah
a flag of Pakistan on him and raise anti-India slogans, because even the
No, madam, is our police
even the
or our
death of a
government so
person
insecure?
must be milked to try and sow hate in the country. That is why.
No,
That
madam,
is how
is our
pathetic
police so
situation
insecure?
is.
Is our police so insecure or so unable to manage situation that one burial could not have been facilitated where the family could
Because
have
they
attended?
facilitated.
Why did you
I am
create
showing
this
you the
controversy?
burial, sir. I am showing you the
No, it's
burial.
not
Now I
about
am showing you the
burial.
actual
burial has taken place
pictures, the
without consent
videos.
of the family. There is something like right to burial, right to birth, right to death.
He's
All
been
these
given
rights
his
have
right
been
to burial.
infringed.
Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, not only must you have given, should you have given burial, but also dignified burial in the presence of the family, in the place that they want, at the time that they want.
Yes.
Sanju Verma.
You know, okay, I heard Majid Hydari. You know, Padmaja, I'm so glad that you put out these visuals, and the Jammu and Kashmir police has acted very proactively and put out those tweets to bust the fake narrative. I am actually surprised that instead of Jammu and Kashmir administration and the police constabulary have done a phenomenal job in reining in any untoward lawlessness that could have arisen from the death of Syed Shah Geelani. We are here actually debating whether he was given a dignified burial or not. Point number one, he was given a dignified burial. Point number two, the police did all that they could within the COVID protocol. Point number three, don't forget that you have the audacity to debate about the burial of not only a hardliner and a separatist, but I would go so far as calling him a terrorist, because in the last 3 decades that he was alive prior to becoming inactive, he actually pushed millions of youngsters into the realm of terror. So to try and legitimize what he did by talking about a dignified burial is shameful. Do not legitimize his legacy, which was completely a bloodthirsty one. He had famously or infamously said, "Hum Pakistani hai aur Pakistan hamara hai." So I would request Majid Hydari not to be more loyal than the king and not to be more Catholic
Majid
than the
Hydari.
Roman Pope.
And this has happened despite the fact that in life he kept saying hum Pakistani hai. Despite that, let me say it very clearly, despite that, the police has been extremely dignified. The Jammu and Kashmir police, the Indian police, gave a dignified burial to a man who proclaimed hum Pakistani hai.
There is a silly mistake on the part of police. You can't give a clean sheet to police. India has been pushed to
What is the mistake, sir? What is the mistake?
Who are you to
They
question the
prevented
police?
a flaring up. They gave him a decent burial. There are people present there. Every single ritual is observed. What more did you want? And you're sitting here talking about COVID protocol, my friend. Do you know that on the 1st of September, there were messages being sent out. There were messages being sent out by Mr. Geelani's representatives saying पूरे जम्मू कश्मीर से लोगों को हैदरपुरा में बुलाओ. तब कहाँ गए थे आपके कोविड प्रोटोकॉल? The plan was to get hundreds of people into Kashmir and to again create a problem. That was the plan. Your frustration is not about dignity or otherwise. Your frustration is you could not burn Srinagar the way you wanted to. That is your frustration.
No, I say, why was this controversy created?
Because you created it. Because you created it. Because there were people who were tweeting on that day saying, shameful, this is Naya Kashmir. Naya Kashmir has no dignity. Naya Kashmir, there is no dignity in death. Those people created a controversy, Vakar Bhatti. And now you should be apologizing for creating a needless controversy in trying to inflame passions. Vakar Bhatti.
पहली बात कि आज हम जेल से बाहर निकले, चलो शुक्र है आपका कि आपने इंटरनेट ऑन किया और मैं आपके साथ बात कर रहा हूँ. दूसरी बात, नए कश्मीर में एक बार ये चीज फिर सामने आ गई कि इस कश्मीर का रहबर गिलानी साहब थे और मरने के बाद भी, इस दुनिया को छोड़ने के बाद भी गिलानी साहब है. अगर उनके मरने के बाद भी आप लोगों को इतना ही दहशत और इतना डर हो चुका कि फोन बंद करने पड़े और इंटरनेट बंद करना पड़ा.
अरे उनका कोई डर नहीं है. डर इस बात का है कि जो लोग पैसे देते हैं कश्मीर में कुछ लोगों को, वो दोबारा एक्टिव हो जाएंगे और उसका भी प्रिकॉशन है. कोई डर नहीं है.
कुछ लोगों के लिए आपने इंटरनेट और फोन बंद किया है मैडम जी, कुछ लोगों के लिए आपने इंटरनेट और फोन बंद किया है. मैडम जी कुछ लोगों
Sir, first you talk about the pictures they're showing you, na? All this while, this manufactured controversy about a burial without the presence of people, that has been called out. अभी तक एक सेकेंड, अभी तक आपकी तकलीफ क्या थी कि उनको कोई रिस्पेक्ट नहीं दिया गया, उनका ठीक से बेरियल नहीं किया गया. अब तो तस्वीरें दिख गई ना, अब आपके कलेजे को ठंडक पड़ गई.
मैडम जी मैं आज ही आया हूँ और मैंने अभी तक कुछ नहीं देखा, तो मैं क्लियर बोलना चाहता हूँ. गिलानी साहब इस दुनिया को छोड़ गए, लेकिन दिल्ली बीजेपी की सरकार की पोल खोल के चले गए कि कश्मीर आज भी सैयद अली शाह गिलानी को ही रहबर मानता था और अभी मरने के बाद भी मानता है. ये हकीकत है, पहचानिए इसको.
संजू वर्मा, चलिए आप मानिए, बेशक मानिए, आपको कौन रोक रहा है? संजू वर्मा
नहीं, कश्मीर मानता है, रियासत मानती है.
Please, we heard you. Mr. Bhatti, let me have my say. Padmaja, I remember that just one day after the death of Syed Shah Geelani, I was in a debate on your show and Majid Haider was there and internet had been suspended only for a few hours and it was up and running again. So this whole narrative about internet being blocked for days together is absolute gibberish. I will not speak if this is the way you want to have a debate where I'm being heckled.
Okay, what's your point? Yes.
May I finish, please?
Yes, finish your point. Finish your point. And Mr. Bhatti, please formulate a coherent response. Yes, go on. Sanju Verma.
My simple point is this. We have seen in the case of Burhan Wani how they tried to legitimize a terrorist by saying he was a poor headmaster's son. Closer home in Mumbai in July 2015, I witnessed how it was a Herculean task for the Mumbai police to rein in law and order when Yaqub Memon, convicted in the 1993 blast, had a janaza and there was a, huge crowd that had come up flouting every rule in the rule book. I think we should applaud Dilbag Singh, the DGP of Jammu and Kashmir, and Inspector Vijay Kumar, who oversaw the entire operation. And let me tell you, what these people have been saying, be it Mirwais Farooq or Mehbooba Mufti, कि हम डर गए, दहशत हो गई. भाई कौन डर रहा है? Let me remind you, Syed Shah Geelani's grandson is being probed by the NIA. Syed Shah Geelani's two sons, one of them apparently a doctor, Naeem Khan and Naseem Khan, are being probed for terror funding by the NIA.
वकार भट्टी कोई नहीं डरा है, उनके सारे इन्वेस्टिगेशंस हो रहे हैं, बट आप फिर भी मुद्दे की बात कीजिए कि आपको जो तकलीफ थी कि यहाँ पर प्रॉपर बेरियल नहीं हुआ, अब आपको लग रहा है हुआ, हाँ या ना? हाँ या ना?
मैडम जी बिल्कुल आपने ज्यादती किया, जुल्म किया नई दिल्ली ने.
क्या ज्यादती है भाई?
जुल्म किया है.
क्या जुल्म है?
आखिरी रस्म तक नहीं निभाने दी आपने कश्मीरियों को, आखिरी रस्म नहीं निभाने दी आपने. मुसलमानों
कौन सी रस्म नहीं होने दी? कौन सी रस्म नहीं होने दी? प्लीज शो दीज इमेजेस फुल फ्लेजेड. यस, कौन सी रस्म बताइए, चलिए बताइए कौन सी रस्म नहीं हुई? कौन सी रस्म नहीं हुई?
उसको बंद किया है.
अरे कौन सी रस्म नहीं हुई भाई?
धार्मिक को जनाजा पढ़ने नहीं लोगों को दिया, आपने जनाजा करने नहीं लोगों को दिया.
एक सेकंड, कैन आई प्लीज हैव मिस्टर भट्टी, आई कांट हियर हिम वेल. कौन सा जनाजा नहीं निकलने दिया?
कौन सा आर्टिकल है?
उनका कफन की सेरेमनी हुई है, उनका जनाजा निकला है, नमाज पढ़ी गई है, बेरियल हुआ है, एब्लूशन हुआ है. क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
100 बंदूक का 100 लोगों का क्यों नहीं कश्मीरियों को फोन और इंटरनेट और आपने पाबंदियां लगाई?
अरे आप इंटरनेट पे, मैं गिलानी साहब की बात कर रही हूँ, आप फिर से इंटरनेट. आपके कितने रहबर थे वो समझ में आ रहा है, आपको गिलानी से ज्यादा इंटरनेट की चिंता हो रही है. चलिए कोई बात नहीं, इंटरनेट वापस आ गया, आपको तस्वीरें भी दिख गई, उनको भी अच्छे से बेरियल मिल गया. अब आप खुश रहिए, आबाद रहिए. वकार भट्टी, रात के 10 बज चुके हैं, आप इंटरनेट जाकर के सर्फ कीजिए. ऑन दैट नोट, आई थिंक दीज पिक्चर्स आर वेरी वेरी अपेरेंट एंड दे टेल द ट्रूथ. थैंक यू वेरी मच संजू वर्मा, वकार भट्टी एंड माजिद हायदरी फॉर हैविंग जॉइन्ड मी.